Look at this. I got headphones on. I got a mic going. Baby.
If
Huh?
only people could see you now.
Hey, no video. We've gone through this before.
All right,
No
all right,
video.
all right. Welcome to This Commerce Life. This is a podcast aimed at small, medium entrepreneurs focused on commerce. I'm Phil, your host, and Kenny, your co-host, will join us as well. And we're going to talk to you about the world of retail and commerce and how things are changing in the world.
We'll play it out and see what happens.
Hit the record. I got the record going there. I'm sorry, I didn't even know you didn't pop up. So I was kind of like I was sitting
I
there.
kept waving and waving. I could see
No,
you.
I didn't
You're looking. I'm thinking, hello, Phil. And I hear you cough. I said, but Phil, hello. Hello, Phil. First to Phil.
Oh,
That's
vacation
okay.
rust a little bit.
Yeah, apparently you got a little too much rest on the vacay.
Oh, pretty rusty after the vacation.
How was it?
Oh, it was amazing.
Pictures looked awesome.
Yeah, the pictures
Yeah,
didn't do it
pictures
any
looked awesome.
justice whatsoever.
I didn't think it would. That's why I think I'd really like to do this one. Like,
You know what? It was really amazing. Like I was excited for Vancouver, and Vancouver didn't disappoint at all. But I gotta say, like, Alaska was wow. Like, it was just wow. Like like I'm not a stranger to fishing villages, seen them before. That stuff wasn't that surprising, but the icebergs, the whales, we saw humpbacks, we saw orcas, we saw porpoises and dolphins, otters, sea lions or seals. I think seals and sea lions.
probably both.
Yeah, so it's kind of really amazing. Like, and then glaciers, right? Lots of
Oops.
you got to see when some that were receding, some that were growing. They're definitely shrinking. So we I think a lot of people had a lot of questions about that. So yeah, but it was good.
It's cool, man. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the pictures look good, so it looked like it was a it was pretty nice. So
yeah, it was a hoot. It was
it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
How about you? You were in Vegas, right?
Oh yeah, it was hot, man. Holy shit, it was really hot.
While the rest of the West was getting a heat wave, you stepped into the desert.
Yeah, like, oh my god. And we were looking at home, and it was pissing in Vancouver. I guess the weekend.
Yeah.
It was just horrific up here. It was 40 degrees. Like, you couldn't even sit beside the pool. Right? I can't. I'm not a big guy. I don't like the sun.
Yeah.
Like, I like the heat. I love the bright. I don't like direct sun. And those old pools were not designed for anything but direct sun.
Yeah.
Right. So for me, it wasn't great. And Amelia was melting, and the kids were melting, but it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
That's amazing.
I mean, Vegas is always kind of fun. It's a stupid city, right? But whatever.
It is. It's a silly city, right?
It's just a little ridiculous.
That's why it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, and if you've never seen it, what the hell, right? It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, you can't. How do you describe that city? Exactly.
It's excessive, I think.
It's even past that. Even the kids thought, "Wow, like this is even worse than what we thought."
Yeah, it's excessive.
Right?
Like, it's kind of like where you go when you want completely over the top. That's where you go.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Man,
it's just ridiculous. Just ridiculous.
Yeah. It's actually the only place, being a retail guy, I think I've seen a lot of things in my life. I think I probably look like a country bumpkin because I saw this lady buy $3,000 shoes. I think we were in Prada, and I went into Prada just to look. And she, picked up a pair. They look like white tennis shoes, which I didn't even know that Prada made, right? But they were $3,000.
That's insanity.
And she kind of picked them up the way that I would pick up a pair of Adidas at like Winners
or flip flops
for $40. Like, she kind of picked them up, dropped them on the counter, and just paid for them. With one of those.
That's a different level.
Black cards, like and I was just like, and I am sure my mouth was open, and I'm sure I look like a complete, country bumpkin, but I just couldn't I couldn't fathom it, right? I was just like, I can't believe this is happening. That is the biggest, like, I would sweat with $3,000 in my pocket going anywhere. And she just kind of like, tennis,
just drops
$3,000
in, no
makes
big
sense
deal.
to me. Bam, here we go, right?
Well, that's funny. And then you go right to the other end
Yeah,
where you see people trying to find $5 flip-flops,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's a city of complete polar.
yeah, yeah. It's where the absurd happens, really.
Like it really is. And I think that's one thing
Yeah.
that kids got to look at is this.
Yeah.
And it's stupid what people buy. I mean, we were in Treasure Island and we were walking by, those stupid autograph frames and shit like that.
Yep.
That it's a fake rarity, right? First off, because they put a number on it saying 50, 100 or whatever. Who cares?
Yeah.
It's so stupid, right?
50B.
But people are buying this shit.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I'm thinking, you got to be kidding me, man.
Yeah.
I mean, buy it because you like it, because it's cool for a man room or man cave or people cave, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. But you know what? Go buy the poster and frame it yourself.
Yeah.
Fake the signature. I mean, they're bullshit. It's all bullshit. I mean,
You might as well just sign it yourself, really.
To me, it might have. It's a hell of a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
But people were buying, and I thought, wow.
That's
I
funny.
mean, yeah, that's a definitive wow.
Yeah, that's funny. That's very funny.
It's a city that just there's just no logic to it.
No,
Like
not
no
really.
logic to it.
Yeah, not really.
But
Yeah,
it was
that's
cool.
fun.
Kids liked it. The people watched. We took them to we saw Trevor Noah.
Nice.
It was a hoot, man. Yeah, it was really good. I
That's
really
awesome.
enjoyed it.
That's awesome.
And then we're back and we're working again, baby.
Yeah,
Back to work we
yeah.
go.
Yeah. You know,
Back to where
I
we
was
go.
true to my word. So I wanted to, we made kind of a big to-do about like things that you should and shouldn't do on your trip.
Right.
And so I was thinking about that. I did buy minutes on the boat.
Yeah, I knew you would. You have to.
Yeah, and I did, right? Like I managed to spend like $3,000 to $5,000 of marketing budget while I was away, and that was around, things like there was a timely placement that I could do around an ad, and I didn't want to miss it. So because it was going to generate me more leads, so I got that done. And then a couple of my contractors that are helping me figure out this marketing campaign and marketing automation stuff, had some questions for me. And so I got that done while I was away. But I didn't tune into the daily comings and goings. I didn't even wander in when the website crashed, because I've got a guy who kind of looks after that. And he knew I was away, so he jumped in right away. And in those instances, you take a deep breath, right? Because I saw the website crash and I went, fuck, right? And then you realize, like, no, you got
That's why you
someone
paid people
good.
to do it.
Yeah, you got someone good who's on it.
Exactly.
So stay out of the way, right? Because otherwise I wander in and now I'm not on vacation because I've signaled that I'm off vacation.
Well,
And then
exactly. You can't pop in and pop out.
Right, because they don't know how to act if you pop in and pop out.
Exactly.
And so I made good on my word. I stayed out of it. I did, take a couple of laps around the boat and then come back to look to make sure the site was up. But I didn't wander in.
At the end of the day, you got to let your people do
Yeah.
what they're supposed to be doing. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're going to baby them, then just don't go on holidays. Just stay home.
Yeah, that's the
Right.
thing, right?
I did the same as you. I mean, I answered some emails,
Okay.
and there was some you just looked at. No,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
because this is a rabbit hole. This ends up nowhere good.
Yeah. I don't
Right,
want
so
to have
it
that
can wait.
discussion now. Yeah.
It can wait. I am not doing this right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. I did a few things like you, same as you. What I needed to do, and I took it out of time when it was mid-afternoon and none of it were all melting.
Yeah.
So we had adjoining rooms, so the kids are in the room, or Daniel's in the gym, whatever.
Yep.
And Carly, Amelia, and I were kind of just lounging.
Yeah.
Either taking a nap or just clicking some keys, just getting some stuff done.
Yeah.
Right. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
I would have done the same if I was home. So.
Yep.
Yeah. To me, it doesn't bother me either.
Yeah. So I figured it was worth mentioning because, we talk about it and sometimes,
Totally.
sometimes it's not to say it happens like that all the time, right? Because there are moments where, I might lose myself in an email, right? Or in a thread, but definitely try and make good on it because I needed the time to back away and think about things. And, when I came back and I had, had time to really like stop and think about some of the things I was doing. And that helped a lot,
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And again, honestly, at the end of the day, the world is not going to shut down. If the
Well,
world
you might
shuts
not.
down because you're on holidays, then the world's got a problem.
Well, and then
It's not good.
you're the president or the prime minister,
Right.
and then you're really paid not to be off ever, right?
Right.
Like those guys, they don't get a vacation because it's just not that's not the job, right?
Exactly.
But that's also why I'm not the prime minister. So
Well, I was saying, but that's also why we don't choose that job.
yeah.
Right. There's a reason for that. So no, I totally get it. No,
I
no issues.
the other thing I wanted to point out is on this show we talked a lot about changing jobs and changing professions and when do you know. And the other thing I know, and I've had the fortune of not having this in a few jobs, but that anxiety did you ever feel that anxiety day one, or like the night before you went back to work thinking, God, I don't want to open my inbox because I don't know what's in it. I don't.
Oh, totally.
I'm not looking forward to this discussion or that discussion or this person. And that not kind of undoes your holiday before you get back to work. It's a good test too, right? Like, so today I went back to work and everyone was like, ooh, you've been gone a week and a half. Like, how are you feeling now? So people would check in at noon and I went, look, like there's a lot of things to do, but if you're asking me if I'm stressed out, I'm not, right? Like I've got to focus because I've got a lot of things to do and I've got some short time frames to get them done, but I'm not stressed out and my vacation hasn't been undone because of, answering my emails or anything like that. So do you know what I mean? Like, so
Totally know what you mean. And it shouldn't, if it does that, then you really, really, you need to consider. I mean, I think all the jobs are like that. I remember going away and it take like 2 days to unwind. And then you got wound up 2 days before it was over.
Yeah.
And it was, you almost dread the morning, the first day, thinking, geez, man, if I could just get till noon. And by, 10 minutes into the morning, your holiday was already forgotten.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's not good.
And I think so. I think if you're listening to us and you have a day job, or if you're a freelancer or you're a franchise owner or whatever you are, I think if you're listening to this and day one of a vacation, you come back and, you can feel it when your traps, like at the top of your shoulders, if they start burning by about lunchtime, you're probably in the wrong job.
Yeah. You've missed the,
yeah.
You missed the purpose of the holiday just got defeated.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, because you haven't done anything. I mean, the purpose of the holiday, you should be able to come back and at least for a couple of days, talk about it and smile and, you're just getting back into it. And trust me, I think it's not abnormal to come back the way we're describing, where you just come back full of angst.
Yeah.
Challenges that should
I
be
think
abnormal.
that happens far, far more than
it's too often. It's wrong.
Then the way for listeners, we normally record Thursdays, but both of us were away. And so we pushed it till Monday night, which is when we normally push out the episode. And so I'll push out the episode right after we finish chatting. But, like if you hear our voices, this is, two guys who, love our jobs, right? Because we've come back. Like I've just done a full day of work. I've come back and done some freelance work, still cooked dinner for the kids and then, all that stuff. And I'm sounding like this, like I'm, relaxed and all here, and you sound the same.
Totally.
Right? So I think
we got money back late Monday night. Yeah. Tuesday morning, I was at Jack's.
Yeah.
New marketing guy started, stayed there all day, went home, cooked dinner.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. And I think so. I think if you're, contemplating change or wondering if you need a change, you want to stop and think about your reactions, the day after you come back from holidays. Do you stress out about it? Do you sound like us right now, right? Or do you sound the other way, right? Because the other way is, I'm talking a whole lot quicker. I'm focused. I'm zeroed in. I'm like, Kenny, let's get this done. I got to go back to work.
Well, you're just it's just angst. Complete angst.
Yeah.
And for what?
Yeah.
Right. I think you're right. I think, it's, you gotta do these reality checks.
Yeah. You've got to test
more often than not.
You really have to test it. You've got to, if you're wondering about change, this might be one of those things that you stop, because in the corporate world, you just learn, right? You learn to cope with the stress, and then you learn that, hey, when I come back, I've got like a week of hangover where I'm grouchy and I'm crabby and
Right.
really not happy to be back at work. That's not really what you want.
No, because also, Phil, you know what? You know that's going to happen before you go, and that's why it takes you the 2 or 3 days to sort of, try to forget about it, and then 2 to 3 days before. So if you take a week holiday, fuck, it's one day.
Yeah.
2-3 days before the 2 to 3 days at the end.
So you really got like
you're just not. No.
Back. Yeah.
Right. Where, again, it's easier said than done, but you're right. I mean, I left on Thursday morning. I did some shit at the airport. We landed. Everybody's looking at each other. What do you want to do? I said, I don't care. Let's do something.
Yeah. Let's go do it.
I'll do a work later. I mean, my out of office is on. I'm not there.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, again, I'm not buried in the weeds of what I used to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it. I totally get it.
Like it.
Yeah. And I think that's the sign. So I think if you are, this is a good check. Like you want to do the Phil and Kenny test. The Phil and Kenny back from holiday test.
Yeah.
And then see how you feel, right? So
yeah, and think it through. Like, I mean, again, these are, I get they're big decisions, and I mean, and if that's what people can say, well, we do know, we did it.
Yeah.
Right. No. So I do know. Yeah, and I do get it. And
I can't.
I did it, man.
A number of times. I mean, the number of times that I sound like this, are outweighed by far more many times where I probably signed on the night before just to help manage stress, right? Is to read through emails, a couple hundred emails, and that sort of thing. But and it would undo my holiday, because I would get right back in emails and go, oh my God, tomorrow I got to do that. Right. Today at work, there were a whole lot of things where I was like, okay, I got to check in. I got to figure this out. I got to figure that out. But at the same time, there was no moment where I went, fuck, I wish I stayed, or, fuck, the vacation's gone. What vacation? None of those things happen. Right. So, yeah. Anyway, just,
that's just job contentment. That's I guess what we're both getting at is that, that's sort of how you measure job contentment.
Yeah.
If you come back and you're that miserable, really and truly, do a little of this self-evaluation, or like, is this really what you want to do? Yeah. And is this really what you want to be like?
Yep. Yeah.
Right. Why do you want to be miserable? You just got back from a nice holiday. Shit.
Yeah. It's a good happiness check.
People would give their left arm for the holidays we all take.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you got to really put it in perspective. Again, easier said than done. I appreciate it, but also done it. So
yeah.
If two blockheads like us can do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah. So what's going on with you, man?
Nothing. Just been it's like it's just immersed, right? You're back into it, and there's just stuff happening everywhere.
Yeah,
just everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And it's good though, right? We had a marketing personnel change at the liquor store.
Yeah.
And it's cool. So, that's exciting again, because now you got a new person and you're trying to rethink things, and person comes from a much more structured environment, with digital and traditional expertise, which is really nice.
Nice. Yeah.
Right. So just, good shit like that.
Thanks.
And then it's just all good right now, buddy. I don't know how to say it. It's just all good.
I like it.
Like, it's a good time. Yeah, really.
That sounds good.
Yeah. No, it is. It is. Yeah. I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
Yeah.
Thoroughly enjoying it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's all good, man.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's the same stuff. Same.
Yeah.
Busy. All good.
I don't know if, I think as we go down this, like I'm going to keep sharing this stuff, but I think listeners, if you don't like this stuff, maybe let me know. But I'm starting to crack open, because I'm taking this journey. I'm going to kind of take you and Kenny down the path with me. But I've been on this, we talked about marketing and marketing automation and emails and email campaigns and things like that. And I've kind of started down this path. So I've started, on one side, I've been sourcing places to actually do the mechanics of email automation. So when you think about, like, when you sign up to a website, a really good one we talk about on here is like like Canva, for example, right? That
Yeah.
you sign up to and you do stuff on Canva. If you think back, the emails that come into you, they usually arrive every 3 to 4 days, and you get one every 3 to 4 days. You probably get about 7 or 8 emails from them saying, "Hey, welcome to Canva. Here's how you log on. Don't forget to do this. Next time they give you a new hint. They give you something new to try. Don't forget to check out these templates." And then usually by the third email, they try and sell you a little bit. And the fourth email is back to like teaching you new tools they have, things like that. And so when I say email automation, all of that stuff is automated. So when you sign up, you get put into, what we call a campaign. And that campaign or like a user onboarding flow. And then a marketer would draft the emails that you would see, and then you would put that through an automated process that would queue you up and basically send you an email every 3 to 4 days. And so right now what I'm looking to do for NIMI is exactly that. Is when you sign up, either you subscribe via the website, or we talk to you and you're interested, or you opt into a download, then we put you in a queue, and then we'll start sending you emails and do all that kind of stuff. So right now I'm looking at a bunch of companies for that. Looking at HubSpot is one of them. Marketo is another one. Pardot, Pardot is another one. That are all, they kind of do this automation stuff. And so I'm looking at the mechanics of those and trying to figure out which one I'm going to pick. Yeah.
You have to let me know what you do, because I think there's we can do, we can definitely do a bunch of that with the liquor store.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because we have people that do sign up, because obviously it's a fun commodity.
Yeah.
New stuff comes out.
Yeah.
Front of line, if you want. Like, there's ways. I'm trying to rethink
the liquor store. I mean, the LCBO here in Ontario has a really great. You might want to sign up just so you get those emails from them, but they have really great. I mean, like liquor is like,
it's a great commodity.
I might like pair it with, it's barbecue season. Pair this with chicken, this with beef, this with, like all those sort of things. What's a really great, like fireplace ice wine, or, like all those sort of, it's Canada Day. What kind of because nobody understands champagne, right? So what kind of champagne do you buy? What's the difference between that and, Prosecco or whatever? You know what I mean? Like there's like a million emails you could do there. That would be so cool.
I'm just trying to find the liquor store Ontario's now.
Yeah, just put in
through the LCBDO. LCBO.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go do that and sign up then.
Really interesting, kind of emails. So I mean, I'm leaning on. So Marketo is probably the premium name out there. So they do everything from like signups to automation to what we would call a drip campaign, which looks like that. Like an email every 3 days, but it's I'm not being paid by any of these guys. I wish I was, but Marketo is a little bit on the expensive side. There's a setup fee, so you got to think about that. And then there's a range for if you've got kind of like 10,000 emails you want to send, or less, or more. So there's different tiers for that. HubSpot is the same. They have some setup fees, and then Pardot, which I think I'm going to go with, is probably the cheapest of all of them because of the tiers they have. So if you're a little guy, the number of emails that you're going to send really do make a difference. The only thing is you got to make sure you do the math, right? So if you're sending, say you've got 1,000 people in your email list, and you're going to send an email every 3 days, or every 4 days, or once a week. Let's say once a week. So, so over a month, it's not 1,000 emails you're sending, but 4,000 emails. So you just want to think about that, because the number of emails you have changes the kind of tier at which you're playing in, or the cost of the tier. So you want to think about that. Before you sign up and do some of your own analytics. The other thing you probably want to do, that I had to do, so NIMI probably has like 2,000 names on a list. that we have. But when I actually sorted through the names and I cut out, consultants or like tire kickers or people in industries that don't matter to us, we probably only had like 400 names that we actually care about.
Oh, so that's what it does. It helps you hone in, focus in,
so
right?
It does. So because it's a cost thing, right? So I could chuck all of the names in there, and eventually I would know because, I would send emails to all 2,000 people, and the only people that might respond is a percentage of the 400.
Right.
But the problem is I would have wasted all that money.
But you spend all the money on the 1,600 that don't mean crap, right?
Yeah.
How about MailChimp? Isn't that the same idea, or is it?
So MailChimp is really good for,
like more lists,
housing database and sending to lists, but
right.
they don't manage campaigns. So you can do it, but you got to build everything.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you think of it this way, it's like, with like, let's say I've got 400 names that I really care about. Through like one of these Marketo, HubSpot, Pardot, I would set up a campaign that says, these 400 people I care about, I want you to talk to them every 3 days. Here are the templates of emails. But if in that process, let's say I send a really rockin' email and 200 of them open it, and 100 people on that list have a whole set of questions for me. So the classic questions that you might get in your business, like, how much does it cost? What kinds of companies do you work with? Do you have a success story or use case that you can share with me? What are the extra setup costs, right? So kind of like every business has like 5 canned answers. A service like one of those automated guys would then be able to take those people that have those questions and send them off on a different response channel that allows you to then qualify those people, right? Because you want to talk to those people because depending on the answers that they answer those 5 on, they're probably customers for you, right?
Right.
So one of those automation guys would be able to go, okay, so out of the 100 people that asked that question, we sent a different response to those guys, and only 10 of those people qualify, kind of came out the other end, and those are the 10 people you want to talk to. So it saves you having to talk to 100 people to figure out, or to send, to custom answer 100 people to go, okay, here are the 5 answers you wanted, right? Whereas MailChimp doesn't do that. You'd have to, you look at the read rates, but you'd have to figure all that out on your own, and then you'd have to like redo a second email to those people and customize it, rebuild it.
Okay.
So it does have a lot of automation that really helps, and it has a lot of analytics, right? So then you can tell, look, Phil the marketer, your message is shite because nobody opened the email, nobody read your email. You should go back and do it again, or people only read half your email. So stop talking that long and stop saying so many things. So there's some automation there that's really neat.
That's interesting. Okay, I'm gonna have to maybe when we hang up tonight, I'm gonna take a look at some of these.
Yeah,
because a couple of the companies really should start looking at this type of thing, right?
Yeah,
especially the liquor store, because it's got a small loyalty club, and it would be just nice to especially, I mean, liquor's so easy, right? It's so good.
Yeah. This is where this is the other half of where social stuff can come in handy, is because now you can test for, so I have a couple of different ways I'm gathering people, and like email, marketing, email automation helps you kind of gather those people and funnel them to the same place. Like, so I went to a trade show, I got a list of people. So now I have to email, under the new GDPR rules, and all that kind of stuff. I have to email each one of those people separately and say, hey, I plan to send you emails. Are you cool with that?
Right.
And they have to say yes. So when they do, I now have, kind of a flow where I'm building, hey, these are trade show people. And so I want like messages that are specific to trade show, but eventually bring them back to the standard kind of NIMI flow. So that's one. And then maybe I have a list from the webinar I did. So now I have to send those people something different. But eventually those two flows come together.
Right.
I'm one. And maybe I've got a Facebook list of people who are like, I'm a fan of your page. And then now you can send them an email going, hey, I know you're a fan of the page. Are you okay if I send you, extra offers via email? And that becomes a third flow. So that's how you kind of turn followers and things like that into like true conversions.
Right.
Now, because you can, but you need the automation because you can never sort through.
Oh man, you can't do that shit otherwise.
And like the number of people that opt out and opt in, so the automation takes care of all of that. And eventually they all become the same stream of customer.
Right.
Which is what you want, right? Because then you talk to more people and send them a single message rather than, like 8 customized messages. So that's where, some of that stuff starts to really hit the road. I feel like most people that do socials and embrace socials, they don't get there. They don't get to that part of the, they just don't get to that part of it. So,
but this is the stuff we keep talking about. This is when, there's the social that most of us do, pretty pictures and likes. And we lose sight of that's a good start.
Yeah.
And it's important to get people talking to us and thinking about us, and that's wonderful. And you do need that. But if that's literally the beginning. Right. You gotta do a little bit more than just that.
Yeah.
Right. You've got these people. Yeah. They're interested enough to do that small thing.
Yeah.
Now, can you make these people into friends?
Yeah.
Like true friends, customers, clients, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
Right. And start sharing stuff that they actually might really be interested in and say, wow, that's pretty cool. And you know what? I'll take advantage of that offer, whatever that offer happens to be.
Yeah.
But you know what, Phil? It takes work.
Yeah.
And once again, it's the easy. Yeah, it's all easy, but it's not as easy as everybody makes it sound, right? So then you're trying to balance out all this time.
Yeah. And then you really, like if you think of just what we've talked about, I haven't even actually set up the campaigns yet, but now I've done work to clean my own email list. I've now thought about, now I've got 4 different campaigns I want to do. I haven't even started thinking about content, right? So you got to figure out now, this is where it all kind of comes together, right? As you start thinking about like, what am I going to say that's interesting to these people? Do I know yet? Do I even know what they're interested in when I talk to them? Well, if I don't, I'm going back to socials to test what's interesting, right? Or maybe I know from socials.
Or you look at the channel you pulled them from. If it's a trade show person, probably really interested in the actual what you're offering.
Correct. If
it's a Facebook person, maybe not.
Yeah. And so, you need all of that stuff to then write, the emails, the first email of like, hey, thanks for joining us. Like you've got to have something interesting. Hey, you've got to write killer emails. Otherwise they won't come. So this is where, it kind of, this is where everything kind of comes together a little bit more. So you do kind of, you want to be able to do that. You want to think that through, and kind of tie it all together to make it work for you. Yeah.
Right. No, again, I'm trying to, I should get you hop onto, I think it's trynrc.com.
Okay.
Like humor me on this one.
Yeah, you got it. Try.
Right. And I think we just started,
what's sorry, NRC
tryenerc.com, maybe .ca. I'm pretty sure that's it.
Oh yeah. I got it. Okay.
So you look at what they just sort of started. So they've started this it's like a 30-day challenge.
Yep.
I guess you gotta wait for it to hit on the no, you just scroll down. So like you can sign up to do the 30-day challenge, right?
Yeah.
But so what happens, you sign up and then they do send you emails sort of, I guess, asking how you're doing, what you're doing, I guess. I'm not too sure. I have to see, I'm not even that good at it either, right? So I've signed up for it. But I guess what I was thinking, this is going to be bad because I think some of the people do listen to my podcast. So this is not a critique per
Kenny
se.
loves you guys.
Love you guys like family. We all know that. But I guess what I'm trying to figure out is, should they have known a little bit more about me? Not for anything. Just, I guess if I signed up, I have a health inkling, I'm assuming.
Yeah. So, I mean, okay. So here's what I would say. Like, so if you guys are kind of wondering, like what the F, right? Like all this analytics stuff. So here's what so immediately I jumped to NRC's Instagram page.
Okay.
Sometimes insight is just, what do people like, right? And so if you look at, like, if I look at their Instagram page, and all I'm doing is I pull it up, I literally follow the link from the website. So I'm on Instagram on my
Try NRC. Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's at TRYENERC.
Right.
And so I'm kind of like flipping through, and all I'm doing is scanning, the posts that they have. So just without doing any math, I think they get about, anywhere between 30 and 40 likes on.
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
On product. The ones that spike for me are, there's some really neat themes here. So like the first one that really pops is there's an Instagram post called "It's Just One Straw," and it's got 75 likes. And then underneath it says "said 8 billion people." And so if I were, my first inkling is the audience that follows NRC may have some environmentally friendly leanings there. The next one I see, NRC, that has 62 likes, which is out of the ordinary, is around a mountaineer guy who's got goggles on. He's up, obviously, at some extreme heights, or climbing a summit. So you've got an outdoor type that's environmentally friendly, are the two factoids I have there. And then if I keep looking through, like the two women who are, it looks like they're doing yoga or CrossFit and they're high-fiving. That's
a contest.
Or
a giveaway, sorry.
Yeah, so now you've got some things where you're going, okay, so I've got some super active, possibly environmentally friendly,
which is totally our consumer, by the way.
Right.
That we've done. That is definitively who we are.
Right, and so those things help you with, hey, here's how I'm going to open my emails now, right?
Right. Look at Farm versus Pharma.
Correct, right? And
I like that one.
And then there's one here. Actually, the ones where you have food, but prepared food, like smoothie, also rank really high, right? Because there's one here with like, I think they're banana slices.
So bananas looks on the bottom, and it looks like yogurts or something on the top, right?
And then the other one that's a single smoothie up top has 60 likes in it. And so, like, all of those things rank really high. So that says to me, environmentally friendly, like healthy living, like very active, and not just like bike riding stuff, but like, a bit more extreme, sporty sort of guy,
right?
Or person, right? And so all of that says to me, okay, the way I write my emails would be different than, let's take me, right? I'm 47. I do work out. I'm fairly active. Try to eat fairly healthy, but I've lost all of my extreme sport days. They're well behind me. Right.
Right.
So I'd rather go out for a walk now or a hike, that sort of thing. That wouldn't appeal to me. Right.
Right.
So probably not quite the customer that NRC has.
Which, if that's true, a little unfortunate, because that is also like an everyday active person, normal people will call us.
Yeah.
No offense to the people who are a little freakish, but normal people is the ones you actually would like. I mean, like you said, when you're running through the woods, it's a nice picture, but it doesn't relate to a lot of people.
Right.
Right. When you're doing like the grouse grind, that's great, but that's a Vancouver thing.
Yeah.
Like you got to try to find stuff on this one that transcends, just a few more people. Like, okay, that's interesting.
Well,
not to have to do that. I'm just,
yeah. And it's a quick look. So, you would start there, right?
Yeah.
And you do more analytics. If you look at the tag posts, it's actually even more telling. So you on the webpage, you can do posts and you can look at tagged. And these ones have a lot of likes on them. and they were all like the guy who's hiking in front of the mountain got 97 likes.
Yeah.
He tagged NRC. So that's definitely a follower who loves your stuff. Who
Absolutely.
Right. There's the two women couples, the female couple kissing behind a tree. And I don't know why they would tag NRC there too, but that's kind of cool as well. And then the other one that ranks really high is, I don't know if it's the same guy, but he's got super thick legs, looks like one tattooed and one not tattooed, hanging over the side of a cliff. And that's got 238 likes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so to me, those were really telling. The other guy biking in the woods, like, and then the guy, like all of the mountaintop ones ranked super high for you guys. So,
which makes sense. I mean, it's a West Coast brand,
right? Yeah.
So again, it's yeah. To your point, it's sort of relative, right? I mean, it sort of makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So like it doesn't need to be hard numbers, but like we just did that. We did that in like 5 minutes, and so that would influence the way I write my emails.
Right.
So as you start a campaign, I would be thinking about, and this is where you start pulling in the things that we talked about, like keywords and things like that.
Right.
Your keywords, because your audience, are probably geared to more of these types where it's kind of like, hyper outdoors, summiting mountains, need, replenishment that is going to hold you back, that isn't extra carbs. It's got to be super efficient at hydrating you, like, those sort of things, right? That
absolutely
would make these guys kind of sit up and look, right?
Right.
Yeah. So
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, so everything we do is kind of like everything I do for sure at NIMI, where we don't know anything about anything of our customers. I'm looking for all of these sound bites because all of these things matter in the emails I'm about to do, right? Because if I don't know my customer, I'm kind of like saying random things, and that might potentially send customers away.
Right.
And so, like you've got to start somewhere, so you can't be afraid to turn some people away. But, I'd like to minimize that amount as much as possible. Yeah.
The shit I learned with you, Mr. Chang, the shit I learned with you.
I think so. I think unless a listener has something else in mind, or they really don't love this, I think this is where all the other crap that we've talked about, the social media, the SEO, all this stuff, here's where it really kind of comes together. I mean, you saw it in the last 20 minutes. We've just talked about like how everything that you've done up until this point feeds into these things, which ultimately translates into more business for you, right? Because these are the emails that start converting people, that you start playing the numbers around, I sent 1,000 emails, I'm going to get 1% or 2% of that number to show up at my door so I can sell them stuff, right? And so like those are real numbers that you can start taking to the bank in terms of conversion rates and things like that. So, yeah.
Very cool, man.
Yeah. So that's kind of,
cool.
That's kind of, I'll have even more of this stuff next week. Like I literally, this is all of my brain right now because I'm doing the math around.
Well, spit it out and share, because I like it and it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting for me, especially now, when I'm going into, because I'm all over the place these days, right? Yeah. And a lot of the stuff is just relevant in all the places I'm at.
Yeah.
Right. And you're always trying to go in and make sure that you can help.
Yep.
And direct people sort of in the right direction. So that's fascinating.
Yeah.
Or I found it fascinating.
Yeah.
This is the fun stuff, as Lori would say.
It is actually. And I would agree with Lori here.
Yes, on this one I would. I didn't understand much of the other shit she was saying, but on this one I'm going to be with her. I'm totally thinking that. Okay.
And I think listeners, if you're listening to this and you have a question in the middle, because we blew through a whole bunch of stuff in there, hit us up, and you can hit us up at thiscommercelife@gmail.com. You can,
or ping us on Twitter or Facebook or whatever.
Wherever you want to find us. And I'll answer them for sure. I can definitely,
maybe even one time we'll actually start a podcast with a theme and sort of carry it all the way through. I don't know. I don't want to promise that, because After how many
That's-
episodes and we've
that's
never
kind of
done that, I don't think it's going to start anytime soon. But you never know.
Yeah.
Stranger shit has happened.
But yeah, so anyway, that's my journey. I plan to take you guys on this because I think it's interesting. I think
No, I want you to do it too because I've taken some notes that I am going to actually have 2 people listen to the podcast. For that reason, just to start going through and start thinking. And I think the liquor store would be cool, and I think NRC might be kind of fun with it too. I'm again, they may be already doing all this. I don't know because I'm not involved in this side at this particular moment. So I'd be interested to see, and maybe there's just some extra things we learn.
There's some more stuff. Yeah, you got it.
Very cool, buddy. Very cool.
All right, that's the end of this Commerce Life. We'll be back soon with the next episode. Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it. Give us feedback. Tell us what you think. Subscribe, like us, join us, share us, tell your friends about us. And we hope to see you next time with more commerce news.